turn your legs around, keep your knees low. Perfect. Get yourself in the middle and then lie down comfortably. I'm involved, I'm helping her. So she's not doing everything independent of me. I then pull out this towel, lift up again for us, and I pull out that towel. So I'm now on the bed, modesty maintained, everyone's a winner. Yeah, so far so good?
Yeah.
Right, now I want to towel manage the area I'm going to work on. So you can all come closer. Once I get started, I'll lift you up so you can see. For now it's just easier to do when the person's lying down. So the legs are sticking out the bottom. Part of the towel process is maintain modesty, check. Keep the client warm, check. All but cold ankles. I know the room is warm, but we're going to manage it like it's not. Get up excess oil, position of comfort, bolsters. So what do? I actually do the towel long ways. Look, diagonal, twist. Did anyone see any stuff? No. The key thing is, if you are aware of your process, if you are understanding what you're doing, then you minimise the amount of faffing time. So I now have everything covered, feet covered, just in case they're not wearing socks. So I take out the next towel. Now the next towel goes over the wide area. This is a big towel here. It goes over the wide area. You'll notice what I've done is I've left a little bit of towel out at the top. And that allows me to lean on the top towel, put the bottom towel, look, you can see where it is, see it there, and drop it into the middle space. That is the modesty maintainer in that middle space. Now, as I pull this towel up and fold it, I expose the shorts underneath, modesty maintained. Because I've got the shorts underneath, I then tuck into the shorts and I'm going to pull up nice and high. Why? I'll explain. Lift up for me and down. So there is the anterior ilium. Below the anterior ilium is the head of rec fem. And the head of rec fem is the very, very least area I should be able to expose. When you massage, if you don't massage tendons, it's pointless. Because the muscles are very good, they're very elastic. Tendons, not so much, their job is to hold on. If Shaquila is a muscle and I'm a tendon, when she stretches that way, off you go, my job is to resist, I'm holding on. So I'm not as flexible. So passive stretching of tendons is far more effective. Now, one more towel. I'm going to take that one.
Bolster.
Goes under there. That's the bolster towel. I'm going to show you this. Is you're right, but don't worry, we'll be okay. That one goes under there. Yeah, we're good to go. I like to use a medium-sized towel for a bolster, and I'll show you why. You have this one back. Head up. Thanks. Perfect. So what we do is we take the towel and we fold it in half. And then half again. So it's around, just slightly wider than the width of the leg. Then roll it over. Now as I tight roll this towel and get a decent sized bolster, the rest of that can go underneath the leg there. So it's not hanging over the side. So if I say to the person, does that feel comfy? And she says, yes, I leave it. If she says no, I can actually make it bigger. See how it works? Okay, so I've got neat, functional towels. I've defined my working area. I've made the area that I'm going to touch. That's what you effectively say. If it's out, I'm going to touch it. If it's covered in towels, I won't touch it. I should never look and see people doing funny stuff under towels. Because that towel is to there, I've taken the tension off it high by pulling the crease out. So what I can say to Joanna is, if you put your hands on top of that towel for me, it provides a control. So as I'm working now, she's stopping the towel from riding down. Yep. Okay, so I've got my working area. At this point, for practice purposes, it's better for me if Joanna is upright and can see a little bit of what I'm doing. Now, if you look at the board, there are other notes on here, and I will go through them, but I wanted to get through some practical before lunchtime. This is the basic leg routine. So in the basic leg routine, there are 3 families: efferage, petrissage, capotement. You should be familiar with some of those families, and you should be familiar with some of those strokes. But as we go, I will describe and show and demonstrate what each one is to me, what the difference is to me. When you're doing them, you're trying to listen to what I've said and employ the skills that I've said at the appropriate time. And if you aren't familiar, listen to the criteria that I give you. because that will affect and make it easy for you. So the first ones to consider, we've got effleurage. There are two types, hand leading hand, where the hands do the same thing, and opposing hands. If you look at the surface area of my palms for opposing hand, it's a big square. See it? Hand leading hand, it's a big area, but it's like a V shape. So because the contact is different on the skin, they have a slightly different outcome, but they're both effleurage. If you say to me, I like that one, I don't like that one. Oh, well, I like that one, but I don't care. It's like saying, which way should I walk around the bed? Should I go that way around the bed? Or should I go that way? I don't care. It's effleurage. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Yep. People say, how many do you do? How long's a bit of string? What's the price of cheese? You're doing a job. Function number one of effleurage is what?
Warming.
Before that, spreading the oil. So I do enough superficials to spread the oil. If the leg is an overweight giraffe, it's going to take me longer to spread the oil than someone who is svelte and petite. So I keep superficial effleuraging till the oil is on. Deep effleurage is
warming,
starting to warm. So you're starting to affect the tissue. You're also getting feedback from the client at the level of pressure. And then reinforced effleurage is what?
Like stretching.
I'm really now assessing what we've got on the table. People who are jumping off the bed on deep get found out in reinforced. So I've got 3 levels, and I'm assessing the client. When I get into bimanual, it's fast, it's a sweep, it's a glide, it's warming. When I do my kneading, I'm picking and lifting. By the time I finish ringing, the area is warm and ready. And I go to the potent, which is stimulating. So I'm sideways onto the bed. How much lotion? Well, normally for oil it's about 50 pence a piece. For lotion, a little bit more. The lotion is cold. It will always find the oil will hold its temperature better. But lotion, if it's been in your car, been in your shed, it'd be super cold. So the first thing is get the lotion on your hands and just take the coldness out of it. Rub until it doesn't feel cold. Easily spread. First point of contact is above the knee. Why? Because that's where I would like most of the lotion to be. So I work my effleurage, superficial, opposing hands. Then I've got my hand leading hand, and there we go. So I've now got lotion onto the area, a little bit much on my hands, take some off. There we go. So I've got define my working area. I want you to, if you can, come and see my body position on this side, just for 2 seconds. So I start level with the malleolus, okay? So what we've got, bony landmarks, anterior part of the ilium, I've got my patella, great trochanter, I've got my tibia, and I've got my malleolus. I start here, body weight on the back foot. Why? If I work on a lunge position, I always keep my shoulders over my hands. Bad technique is start here, don't move, and lean. You can still touch the area, but you've got no pressure when your hands are there. Hands out, push down. She's not as strong. Push down. Now she's strong. Now it's hard. And that's the point. If your hands are out there, you cannot be the best you can be. So, superficial, weight on the back foot, weight on the front foot, look where my hands are. Weight on the back foot, weight on the front foot, look where my hands are. You have my permission. If the person bends down low, in their eyes, up their nose, in their throat. Eyes, nose, throat. That's if my head goes down here. Eyes, nose, throat. Okay, you have my permission. Because you'll only do it once, and the person will never make the mistake again. So, after I've done my superficial, I'm now going to do deep. You tell me if you notice an increase in pressure. Yeah. Okay, why? I'm not pushing harder, I'm just bending my knees more. So because I bend my knees more at that point, it creates more pressure to Joanna. At this point, I've done my superficial, I've done my deep, I've done both techniques, and it's approximately 6 to 8 times of each technique. Then from there, I'm going to go reinforce. Now, when we reinforce, of my hand, I've got 8 carpals, 5 metacarpals, 14 phalanges. When you look at my hand, the carpals are set between the radius and the ulna, and the metacarpals. They're 8 little bones, they're quite snug in there. The metacarpals are covered in skin and have an interosseous membrane holding them. So the thing that needs supporting are these independent phalanges, where there's more bones, but they're separately packed. So when you do your reinforced, don't angle your hand and squash your own bones. Lay it flat on the surface, it's efferage, and support the things that are going to spread. So my superficial, deep, and then reinforced efferage is all with flat hand. Notice the difference in the pressure. There is more pressure. Why? Because I'm pushing my phalanges, and there we've got a flick. So I know that on the medial side and the lateral side, there is tense tissue. Watch the flick. See it? See how my hand moves quicker? That should feel a little bit more uncomfortable to you. Okay. So there is my reinforced. Opposing hands, hand leading hands, always the outside hand forward on the hand leading hand. So when I get to the top, that inguinal crease, that inguinal line, means I'm not being, if I do it the other way around, fingers go under the towel, it's inappropriate. So there is the line, there is the line, and there is the line. Yeah, fingers go above the towel. Efferage is easy. And because it is easy, people take shortcuts. You will see people in here who don't move their knees. It's a lunge position, back foot, front foot. Back foot, front foot. If you fix, if people do the Saturday Night Fever, do me, efferage, and they do that, I'm ready. Saturday Night Fever, back leg. Straight leg can't go anywhere. So what do? Da, da, da. And that's when you go. Right. From there, we go to bimanual. So now I sit in, shoulders over back, and I sweep. Does it sound like slapping? No. If you do a slapping noise, what are you?
Slapper.
Okay, you don't ever want to be that. Right, so wide for a glide, fast, firm. The one that slaps is the hand that is near the person's head. Why? Because as it comes over, this one comes wide, this one comes flat. So you hear that noise, it's because that hand is hitting. You've got to reach past, so it comes in like an aeroplane landing. So it's wide, look past the patella, and then you get the continuity to do the sweep. Tell me when it feels warm. It's feeling warm. It will feel warm after about 5 to 6 seconds. I normally count to 10 and then say, tell when it feels warm, in which case the person almost says it straight away. From there, I'm going to knead. Kneading lifts the tissue from the bone. If you're at who likes KFC? Losers. I love it, right? If you're at KFC, kneading is what you would do to pick all of the chicken off of the bone. So there's no, but you pick. You wouldn't, none of that nibbling. Pick. So look at the leg. I'm trying to affect the tissue on the leg. Does it feel like firm kneading?
Yes.
It's supposed to be. I'm picking and lifting the tissue. Rubbish kneading looks like this. How's that? Yeah, rubbish. Pick and lift. Can everyone see the picking and lifting? Can you see the leg changing shape? Okay. Ringing. Fingers on the inside, heel of hand. If you notice, I took a little step back, straight arms, look at the leg, look, lifts up, and I trap the tissue. Definitely tight on the outside. There it is, look, flicking out the way. So vastus lateralis and vastus intermedius and rectus femoris all feel tight.
And you're picking up from the heel of the hand.
So yeah, heel of the hand pushes, fingers pull, and you trap between the two. So from there, I go on to hacking. Fingers, each one adds progressive weight. Little finger strikes, next finger hits, next finger hits, next finger hits. Listen to the sound. Progressive click. The sound is the key. You don't have to be fast at hacking. People, I must go quickly. This is my hacking. It's rubbish hacking because you can't sustain it. So what happens is you hold your breath, you diminish your energy reserves, and then the hand that is the weakest does this.
Yeah.
And you have to get it under control again. So just slow it down. Listen to the sound. That is good hacking because it's a clear click, a clear addition of weight, a clear progressive striking where more weight is added through the tissue. The more confident you get, it will go quicker just because you'll naturally feel more confident. But it doesn't have to be fast. The sound is the key.
Are we looking to see a red leg at this point?
you are looking to get erythema, but not all skin tones are created equal. So what I would always suggest is palpate to see if you're starting to feel warm. Get the feedback. I mean, some people will redden up after effleurage. Other people, you've got to get the feedback. Does the area feel warm? Does it feel as though it's been manipulated? Cupping, listen to the sound. Cupping is a vacuum. If you were to, in the bath, get a cup and try and trap air, when you take the cup off, it makes a sound as it's the suction, and that it is not slapping. People who use their fingertips create a vacuum. People who use their finger pads slap. So use the tips of your fingers with no gap to create that soft cupping sound. I can go firmer.
Does that do vacuum? No.
Yeah, so it does, but it's a very mild one. So as you hit on, you trap the air, so there's more air than in the space, so it sucks in, but it's a soft sound.
So the aim or the goal from that cupping
Is
vacuum a
to,
little bit.
exactly, what you're trying to do is to encourage movement of fluid in through the tissue. So you're trying to draw fluid to the surface. So essentially, the striking rebalances the autonomous nervous system. It invigorates the sensory receptors. It lengthens the muscles, and then also the vacuum is trying to draw superficial material to the surface.
Okay.
Yeah. Beating, a heavier sound. So I see people do like a punch position. I prefer the flat of the hand. You get a bigger contact area. But again, it's a soft sound because I relax my wrists. Yeah. Then when we finish, we do an effleurage. It's called a fountain effleurage. So I do a long stroke, a medium stroke, a slightly smaller stroke, and that moves me down to here. But I could, by manual, so my hands are moving up, but I move down, because this has already had a little bit of effleurage at the start. So I can by manual, there's only tibialis anterior, comes from the anterior tibia across onto the medial cuneiform, does dorsiflexion and inversion. So when I'm here, I'm focusing on the outside look, and then I've got my reinforced thumb, that feels tight as well. I've got a little bit of knuckles and a little bit of circles. Now when I do my circles, I'm not pressing too hard because my thumb isn't protected. That's effleurage to finish. You look at that routine. 6 to 8, 6 to 8, 6 to 8, 20 seconds, 21.
Ooh, touch.
20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 6 to 8. For me, a basic routine is 3 to 4 minutes.
Just one more beating.
Sorry, Daddy.
Flat hand. Narrow, so it affects a very narrow area of tissue. Cup, wide, but shallow. Beating, wide and heavy. So the progression is narrow, shallow, heavy.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Can you do it this way as well?
You can. I've got no objection to it, but you must. What you can't be is rigid in your arm and your fist. It becomes like a punch. You've got to still have that flexibility in your wrists.
Yeah.
With all of deportment, when you hit, the tensile strength of the tissue response absorbs your pressure like a bungee cord, and you stretch into it, and it needs to be progressive. If you aren't flexible, then when you hit on, it is either a punch or a chop, and then
More flexible this way rather than that.
it's up to you. You can be here
Yeah.
or here. It's up to you. What you need to be is responsive and not rigid hands.
So what you consider that technique then? Just
So it's the same type of thing. It's a beating. What it is when you strike, you're striking on a wider area.
Okay.
So that will dissipate more tissue and be slightly more invasive than the narrow area, which is progressive way. Yeah. Now, when we're getting off the bed, I haven't done any advanced techniques, but I will show you some this afternoon. I make sure that the person is foot covered. I take out the support because I don't want that to fall off the bed. I've got 2 towels the same here, so I can do it the easy way. I'll show you both. So the easy way is this. Pull that one out. Could you hold the top of that towel for me? Take that one out, then we're ready to get off. Thanks for coming. Yeah, as opposed to twisting and going back. If you've got one big towel that is the bottom towel, just hold that for us. So let's say you've got one big towel that is the bottom towel, which was in that position when we were doing the massage. Then what you have to do is take the little towel off, do the big towel back to there, and then you say, right, sit up for me. When you sit up, we go towel to here, swing your legs around to the side, take your time. Now, people always worry, at this point now,
They will
Janet's
fall
thinking,
down.
"Well, I'll stand up, everyone's going to see my bottom." That's what people are thinking, I would think it. But it doesn't happen that way. You know why? Because when you stand up, as the towel drops, it drops like a curtain, unless it's tucked into your knickers, which it isn't, it will drop and it will maintain your modesty. So legs off for us and stand up. Now I am standing at the side, so round we go to here. I'm the only person not looking at John's bottom. So if you turn around, you hand the towel to me, perfect, and then we go from there.